So, chapter 17. We've had another visit to Kuwait, and she's realised how to get the more information by following what the dream tells her, or the memory as it is. Right, last chapter for today, chapter 17. Let's do this. Elle, I say. Elle, I repeat, but she doesn't answer. I've just spent the last 5 minutes telling her about Mum's latest hospital news, and all she did was respond with a grunt every few sentences. She hasn't looked up from her phone once, probably because she's busy texting Matty. Sorry, Saf, she says, finally turning her phone face down. That's really good. She grins, pulling me into a hug. At first I'm stiff, then I soften and hug her back. We're at mine having our half-term sleepover like we said we would. Elle was the one who brought it up again, which made me happy. I think she still feels kind of bad about the perfume thing, so she's trying to make it up to me. But it feels different to usual. Even though Matty's not physically here, it's like he's taken over the entire evening. Either Elle's texting him, or I'm thinking about ways to bring up the mean things he said. I want to show Elle what sort of person he really is. Whenever I try to speak, it's like my lips are glued shut. With Mum at the hospital and my friendship group falling apart, it feels like my world is crumbling like the ruined fairy palace. Like the only thing in my life that makes sense is the house with the memories and the game. But the doctors said that Mum's doing as well as she can. They use words like stable and progress. I need to focus on my mission, watch the memories and collect the objects. I can't let myself get distracted again, not by the door or anything else, because I'm certain that once I get through all the memories, the door will open. And when the door opens... You can pick the film tonight, Elle says, crushing into my thoughts like ocean waves against a rock. Matt's gone to the cinema to watch a double screening of Star Wars. He's so lame, he actually turns his phone off for that. Should we get into our PJs? Finally we can start our sleepover properly, even though it's only because Elle's boyfriend won't be in virtual contact for 5 hours. Yeah, I say excitedly, jumping up and down. Should we have cheese and Marmite toasties? I ask a little tentatively, worried she won't remember that it was always our favourite snack. Elle's eyes light up like she's 11 again. I forgot about those. Please, can we? 10 minutes later, we're in our PJs and in the kitchen, armed with butter and bread, ready to make our toasties. Where's the Marmite? Elle asks, sifting through the cupboards, glancing over at me through her nerd glasses. They really suit her, but she never wears them out. I'm pretty sure most people in our year don't even realise she needs them. I wear mine all the time. In the fridge. That is, Elle wrinkles her nose. Weirdo. That is weird though. I can't believe someone puts Marmite in the fridge. I laugh. Lady waltzes up to Elle shyly, wagging her tail and fluttering her little eyelashes. She's such a charmer. Hello, beautiful, Elle says, bending down to stroke her. She talks in this funny voice she reserves only for Lady. It's silly and cute, and I can't help but think how different Elle is on any given day, how she moulds to whoever she's around. Here, though, it feels like this is the real Elle. Glasses, mismatched PJs and all, but for some reason she can't let anyone else see the real her. The Elle who has an irrational fear of tiny holes. She literally can't eat holy cheese. Trypophobia, it's called. The Elle who sometimes talks in her sleep. The Elle who secretly wishes her dad cared a little bit less about work. So, she says when she's finished fussing, Lady, and has received the Marmite from the fridge, what film should we watch? Spirited Away? I ask hopefully. Elle rolls her eyes. Again, Saf, we've seen it 100 times. Anyway, we're too old for cartoons now. That's a lie, you're never too old for animation. Cartoons? Elle clearly doesn't appreciate the skill that goes into animated films, especially Studio Ghibli films, which are essentially masterpieces. I shrug. You decide then, I say, trying to keep my voice even. She said I could pick, but I know she'll just disagree with all my choices. I can't help but feel like the mood's turned again, like a storm cloud has emerged into the kitchen. Elle eventually chooses for us an action film Matty recommended. We watch it in bed with our toasties, and I try to make out like it's one of our old sleepovers, but it isn't. There's no funny commentary from Elle, no feet fights under the blanket. We just sit there silently and watches the film. Who actually does that? And even though she knows Matty's phone is off, Elle still checks hers every few minutes. I've started to question recently whether Elle and I would even be friends if we met now and not at primary school. See, I said that, didn't I, a little few chapters ago? Sometimes it feels as if I'm trying to put together broken pieces of our old friendship, but they no longer fit. Izzy messages me just then. Saf, why didn't you tell me how good Princess Mononoke is? I'm in tears. I grin. She sends me a photo of her crying, her pet guinea pig cuddled up on her lap. My neighbour Totoro is still my favourite. How many have you watched now? 5. 6. How's your mum? And having fun at your sleepover? I avoid answering her second question. Instead, I would give her a quick update on mum and tell her about the film we're watching. Izzy sounds interesting. She streams it too, and we send each other funny messages about how awful it is, just as I used to do with Elle. Later on, I suggest a game as Elle and I wait to fall asleep. Would you rather eat poo-flavoured chocolate or chocolate-flavoured poo? I ask her. What? Elle says. I explain the rules. You have to give 2 different options that are equally as bad and see which one the other person picks. That's amazing. Elle laughs. That sounds silly, she says dismissively, reminding me of a beer. I would have chocolate-flavoured poo, I say, ignoring her judgment. My cheeks are burning and I feel stupid now. Fair enough. Elle yawns, signalling the end of the game. It's after a few minutes of silence that I finally feel brave enough to say something about Matty. Elle? I turn to my side, facing her. She's laid flat, looking up at the ceiling. Yeah? I sigh. What is it? She hisses, and I can't tell whether she's irritated at me or worried about what I have to say. For the first time in forever, I'm not sure she's enjoying our sleepover at all, and it makes my stomach squirm. Don't chicken out, Saf. Don't chicken out. I was in ICT. I was sitting next to Matty and David, and I saw something on Matty's phone. I can feel Elle bristle next to me. What? Her voice is sharp, like a knife, but for some reason I feel like it's pointed at me. I tell her about the photo and how they were laughing at it, and I tell her what Matty said to me, and about Johnny's joke at the bike shed. Oh my gosh, Saf, Elle says, and I expect her to reassure me that it was horrible, and that she's going to talk to Matt about it. The old Elle would, but she doesn't. I got worried you were going to say something bad, like he was texting some other girl. She takes a relieved breath and then carries on. Don't worry, Matty and Johnny are like it with everyone. Elle assures me the other day they were making fun of me for being ginger and pale. It's just what they're like. She looks at me expectantly, so I say the first thing that's on my mind. But that's not very nice, is it? Come on, Saf, Elle pouts. Don't be so boring. She reaches out for me, but I pull away. That's when I see her roll her eyes. Wow. Okay, you know what? Ever since I started going out with Matty, all you've done is moan. You never ask me about him, or how things are going. You're just jealous that I have a boyfriend and you don't. Why did you tell a beer about? Why did you tell a beer and not me? I blurt. What? Elle looks genuinely confused, so explain how I saw them both whispering the day we walked to the bike shed. Elle shrugs. I suppose I thought she might understand a bit more. I was right. My heart pounds with every word of Elle's. I feel sick, kind of like when you eat too many sweets. Maybe she's right. Maybe I have been too negative about everything, thinking about us and our friendship instead of her. I feel guilty about being such a bad friend. After all, everyone else seems happy for her and Matty. Everyone but me. Elle. Whatever. Elle mutters, purposefully turning away from me. I'm tired anyway. I'm so... Good night. Her voice rings across my room, bouncing off the walls in its false cheeriness. Then it floats down and settles onto us like a bitter smell I can't quite get rid of. I know not to push this with Elle, not now. So I don't. Instead I turn the other way and think about Mum. Again. And how she's trapped in that room alone. It's like she's some sort of fairy tale princess. Like Rapunzel. That's when it hits me. Mum's kind of like Sleeping Beauty in her tower, waiting for her prince to come and rescue her. What if I'm the prince? I realise now that I know how to win the game. I need to watch all the memories and unlock the door. And when the door opens, I'm going to save Mum. I'm going to wake her up. But not just in the game, in the real world too. Oh, I hope that's true. That would be a magical story if it is. So, we are done until after Easter, gang. We're actually, I'd say, almost perfectly halfway through the book. So that's a good place to leave it. Catch up with all these chapters over Easter, and then we'll have a good discussion before I start reading 3 chapters a week when we're back. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely loving it. I like, as I said before, my favourite way is how we're balancing those visions of Kuwait with her relationship with her dad and her relationship with her friends. It seems like a perfect puzzle piece, us finding out a new part each time. I think her and Elle will find. I don't think they're going to repair that friendship, because I don't think there's a friendship to repair. They've gone in different directions. Elle has said if they hadn't been friends at primary school, they wouldn't be friends now. And sometimes friendships do move like that, which you're going to find out in high school. And I'm quite glad we're reading this now, because it's good prep, I'd say. Right, super job. I want to hear your thoughts on this book. I'm going to put some questions on the description down below. You guys have a super Easter. Make sure you catch up with all these 6 chapters we've read, and we'll read some more after Easter. Take care. Bye-bye.